Live!
I didn't even realize we were live. So,
Hi everyone, I am Gloria.
I'm Joanna.
I'm clocking out.
I'm clocking in.
And we're coming to you live from Robot Zero Comics, located at
23 West Main Street, Geneva, Ohio. Beautiful, scenic, historic Geneva, Ohio downtown. Right in between, there's honeybees on the end, old familiar ways. There's a law office, alibi bar and grill. We're right smack dab in the middle of some fun places. So
parking in rear.
that's what she said.
And our phone number is
440-415
yeah
1228.
Woo! You can call us and we will answer your questions. Put anything you need in a folder. Hold anything for you.
Yep.
So be sure to call.
As long as we have it, it's yours.
You can also message us through our Facebook page. We answer those too. You can email us at info@robot-zero, the word, not the number, .com. That's INFO, splat, ROBOT dash ZERO, bloop, com. I think I drew that out way too much. Sorry. All right. Our website is also robot-zero.com. The word, not the number. And don't forget the dash.
Nope.
I
don't know where it'll take you if you don't do the dash, so who knows.
All right. So usually before we get into our picks for the week, we try to give you some cool news, some cool stuff. And I've got nothing because I don't know if you saw, they found out why Bob Saget passed away.
Yeah, he had a head injury that blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh.
He hit his head, and like many of us, when we injure ourselves, especially the older we get,
it's like, oh, I'm fine.
it's like whatever.
That's what happened to Liam Neeson's wife. She had a skiing accident and had a head injury, and she's like, oh no, I'm fine, and then she passed away from it. So yeah,
guys,
always get that checked.
If you hit your head, you don't go to sleep without at least somebody watching you.
Yeah.
Keep an eye, or get yourself checked.
Yeah.
Even
if you don't feel like it's not too bad, maybe just in case. You only get one. You only get one noggin. You have spare hands, spare feet, but yeah, you only get one.
Guys, we care about our customers. We want you guys to be okay.
What is it? Is it Toy Hio tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow is Toy Hio.
That's where the boss man will be.
Yep.
So go say hi to him.
If not, you can stop by and say hi to me.
That's right.
I'm going to be here. So that's going to be awesome.
Yay.
So we got that going on.
Yep.
You start with your first pick,
all right,
and I'll tell you.
All right.
How you doing? I'm Adam.
Yeah. Okay.
Got a customer. Sure. No, you're
I'm going to cut for your presentation.
You're
Oh,
fine.
we're live on Facebook right now.
So, you're fine. You're good.
You're
Totally
good.
fine.
You're good.
No worries. So my first pick is a one-shot Hellboy. Hellboy and the BPRD, 1957, Forgotten Lives. It's just a one-shot. I don't know if we have any more left on the table, but I'm sure Tony can get more in if you're interested. I'm a huge Hellboy fan in the first place.
Appreciate it a lot.
And there's a ghost haunting a cemetery, and the new guy who is the caretaker is really like, oh, I'm not used to this, can you help me out? So Hellboy and the Professor go to check it out. It seems to be a little bit younger of a Hellboy from one of their older stories, but it was just a fun read, and it's very, very much classic Hellboy. He's as much as he's seen and all the stuff that he's taught, it's so great because he's so very childlike sometimes, and I just really enjoy it. He really is. Like, he's got those moments where he's just like, aw.
He's still a little youngin'.
He is. But it's it's a really well done little story, and it had a very touching ending. He talks about a little bit about being a little boy and reading comics, and then at the very end, he doesn't even realize what he does, and then it's so sweet. I sat there on the couch and I was like, oh, this one tugs at the heartstrings. So if you're at all a Hellboy fan, definitely check out the one-shot Forgotten Lives. It's well worth a quick read. It was enjoyable. It's great to add to your Hellboy collection. Just a one-shot. Nothing you gotta, commit to. So
it's a good way to get a taste of Hellboy.
It is. It really is. Oh, you're fine. Oh my goodness,
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so my pick is, I think I've picked this every time it's come out.
You have, but that's okay. Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be in graphic novels soon. It's Good Boy. This is the last issue of this arc. This is really following that John Wick-esque storyline. Where everything that we've seen come to a culmination is going to trigger another event. Just like the John Wick movies. He does something, he tries to resolve it, and makes something else happen.
There's going to be a Good Boy 2 and a Good Boy 3 and a Good Boy 4 is filming now.
Actually, a Good Boy 2 is going to be coming out in September, October, and November.
Oh, that's not too long.
Yeah, so at the end of the year, there are going to be more Good Boys. So if you love yourself some John Wick, if you love yourself, that the dog is avenging the humans. And this is just, it's fun. It's, there's violence. There's, a little bit of subterfuge, people. It's everything the John Wick movies are. And it's
just a role reversal.
Really fun. Just fun. And they battle in a dog shelter. And I'm like, I want to adopt every dog in there. And they even have bunnies. Look, they have Link and Zelda bunnies. But the two dogs battle in a dog shelter in front of anthropomorphic doggies. So yeah, and there's there's the violence is big, but it's not gross.
Yeah.
It's so cute. It's almost cute that it's kind of reminds me. I hate Fairyland.
Yeah.
It was the most adorable violence you could ever see. And it didn't feel...
It was like one step up from, Tom and Jerry, Roadrunner, Coyote kind of thing. Like, a little bit more graphic, but not too much.
And this is one step up from that.
Yeah.
It's still not like... It's not going to make your squeamish friends squeamish. And it's just a fun story. I like reading these and going to sleep. Because it's like, I had a good time. Because I read before bed. That's the only way I get my reading done is to read before bed. And reading this, I always feel like, yeah, I had a good time reading that. It's like I don't fall asleep in the middle of one of these.
Right. No, that's important.
Which I might do with some other ones. I have to put I put bookmarks in comics, people. Because some days, just the sleep's gonna win.
Yeah. No, I have those days too.
But all right, pick number 2, Joanna.
So my pick number 2 is not a single issue comic. I read almost my whole stack, and nothing really jumped out at me besides Hellboy. It was just like, oh, this is so good, I have to share. My second pick is Mouse by Art Spiegelman, and it is him retelling his father's account of living through the Holocaust in the 40s. And it's more for teens, like I would say like a young adult. The art is very simplistic. It's black and white. Not a whole lot of gore at all. Not really. But it tells it in such, and it's been, oh God, it's been a good, I'm going to be 37. So it's been a good at least 15 years since I picked this up and read it. And there were moments that even when I knew what was coming, I still sat on my couch this morning and just cried. It's back in the news because Tennessee completely pulled it from their curriculum. I know it's banned in Texas in certain school districts. Yeah. People need to read this book. And I don't mean to get up on a soapbox, but it is important, and I'm a firm believer in people who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And that is absolutely true, especially with human beings. Like, we have a really hard time getting those things through our skull sometimes. And this was just eye-opening. I bought it to let my children read it, but I read it first because I was like, well, it's been a while and I was in school, so I'm gonna refresh. Absolutely. Get this for your kids. Get this for you. This didn't happen all that long ago. This was the 1940s. Like, we need to refresh. We need to remember so this kind of thing never ever happens again. And it's a 2-volume series. I know we don't have volume 2 yet.
I don't know for sure, but if you want it, we'll do our best to get it.
Absolutely.
This has been a hard to get book, and that's how much of it's exploded.
Yes. There are 2 copies still left on the table. I'm looking at them right now. I'm not sure how many more he has, but definitely
that's it. 2 in the store. That's what we got right now.
Even if you can't get it through us, even if you can't get it through, a bookseller, get it from the library. Get put on a waiting list. Another one, when you are done with this one, I can't recommend enough. March is a 3-book series by John Lewis, and I got it when he passed away, and it tells about the civil rights movement in Alabama and everything they went through, trying to break that color barrier. And it was so eye-opening, and things that they don't teach you in school, I learned from it. Yeah. And I passed it along to my older children. I said, here, read this, because they need to know. And I would rather, as a mother of my children, answer tough questions than have my children be ignorant. And I'm going to step off my soapbox because usually I'm the silly one. But I'm really serious. Like, this is important. Like, read about, educate yourself and your children, the Trail of Tears, March, Mouse. Don't let these opportunities slip by you. And it's very eye-opening, and it just, so that it doesn't ever happen again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So just absolutely fantastic, simple but fantastic art, simple but fantastic writing. You feel the dad's emotion through the whole thing, even though he tries to, hide it. He's that generation where he doesn't show it a lot, but man, he really, really comes through. So definitely 2 copies left, man. If you want it, give us a call. I'll put it in your folder. Come and get it. Definitely read Mouse.
Comment on the video.
Yes.
I have that. My mom's second husband was Jewish, so the whole Holocaust thing hit a little closer to home for me. Because, I grew up, my stepdad was there from when I was 4 years old till I was 19. And so that was a big formative part of my life. And that kind of stuff, when there are people that deny it, when people
act like it didn't even happen.
Say, oh, that happened a long time ago. That happened to his family.
It wasn't.
I met relatives, that had direct impact from that.
It was less than 100 years ago, guys. We're in the 2020s. It was 1940. The 43 through 45. Yeah. It got really bad. Yeah. So it wasn't all that long ago.
Yeah. So, and when people say we've been, we've stopped segregation already. That was a long time ago. Dude, that was 10 years before my husband was born.
Right.
That's not a long time ago.
I want to say the first African-American girl to walk into a segregated school to be part of that school just turned 64. It was not that long ago. We need to remember these milestones, and we need to educate our children. It's not pleasant. It's not.
This is an easier format because it's
easy to understand. It lays it out so that their minds can comprehend, even though it's such a big, huge, awful scale.
And in a book, you can take your time.
Yes, answer their questions as you go. I love that comics can be a part of this. That's what I love, is how, we got Superman versus the Klan. It's just, there's so much that comics have done over the years to bring these issues to light. X-Men, everybody's like, comics are too political. It's they've always been. They have always been. And I love that, because you're reading it, and it's like Terry Pratchett. You'll read it and oh, I know what he's talking about here. It's it's just boom. And I love that about comics. One of my very biggest things that I love about comics is that they open your eyes, they make you think, and they're fun. So
And they're an
please.
easier way to digest harder subjects, including
Hard.
like harder literature.
Yes.
They can make you understand absolute classic literature. They can make you experience a time period that you know, like just the same as a movie.
Yep.
And there's the more time you put into it, like looking into the little details of the pictures, the more you can even learn about that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's okay. Soapboxes are going back under the counter.
Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, that's.
And we're gonna go to something fun.
Yes. Archie. Can't get any more
Archie.
funner than Archie.
Okay, we don't have any of these left in store right now, guys. But this is like a super cute Archie Love and Heartbreak Special. It's the more modern Archie, not traditional. Like, this is based on the Fiona Staple, Mark Waid redo kind of image that they did for the current updated Archie.
You can't go wrong with Fiona Staples. Her art is always just
it
slaps.
It's not her art in this, but she inspired the kind of way they did the modernization and looks.
Okay.
So you can tell that it's not goofy looking Archie. Like there's Jughead and Betty. And let's skip a couple pages, see if we can find ourselves some Archiekins. There's some Archie and Veronica. You see, they look like people from now and in it hip. So there's a fair going on in Riverdale, and you get 3 stories at this fair. The first one is Jughead shares his 3 rules for how he ends up making it through life, despite not really ever having money in his pocket, and you know, he seems easygoing, but like, how does he manage to have an okay life and always end up with a burger in his hand despite
always being broke?
Broke and not doing much? And he shares his 3 things with Betty as he takes her through a pretend date. The second story, Veronica is kind of taking Archie for granted. And she says, oh, I can have the perfect date with anyone, you know? And so he says, have the perfect date with Milton. Like, okay, as long if you say that this is all it takes to have a perfect date, then prove it with Milton. And hijinks ensue. The third story is about Kevin, and he's met someone, and for the most part, aside from being good looking and them both being gay, they don't have much in common. So Kevin's a little worried, and Kevin wants to come off seeming one way, and you know, the date's things don't go the way he wants necessarily right away, but there is a happy ending.
Yay!
Happy
ending was had by all.
Happy endings all across the board. And this is like a really cute modern thing, and thumbs up. Like, you know, I really enjoyed it. It made me smile as I was reading it, and made me wish that I remembered where I left off in the Archie series that Fiona Staples started with Mark Waid. Because I have some of the trades, and it was a really good modernization with a lot of the original heart. And not Riverdale. It is not Riverdale. It's like if Riverdale were more family friendly.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, didn't have weird murders.
Yeah.
And stuff. But, yeah, so those are our picks. You guys read comics. We read comics. Don't let anyone ever tell you that a comic is not as good as a book.
Nope.
It counts as reading.
It does.
It does. Comics are a different form of media. They're just as good as a movie.
Mm-hmm.
They're just as good as a book.
Mm-hmm.
They tell stories in a different way, and we all can enjoy, maybe not the exact same titles, but we can all enjoy the experience and have that together and come together, right?
There's something for everyone out there. We will find you something.
I also feel that way about anime. If you're like, I don't like anime, I will find you one.
There is, yeah.
It's
daunting because there's a lot of it, but I found a couple that I'm like, okay, I can sit.
It's not all people screaming attacks at each other or collecting animals to battle. There's some really good stories out there, and some weird ones.
Yeah.
So, that's the way comics are.
Yeah.
So you guys, thank you for listening to us.
As always, thank you for listening, watching, commenting.
And sorry about the soapbox.
Yeah,
but
I get a bee in my bonnet sometimes, and I'm like, no, this needs to be said, because it's kind of sad that there's been a lot of ignorance that I've noticed
lately.
The last couple years. Not that I'm, some crazy intelligent person, but there's some stuff that, people need to get educated on, and what better way than an enjoyable comic to read read and catch up and be like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
We can all learn.
That's right. Yeah. So,
but
thank you.
Thanks, guys. We're going to go check our comments now. And I end up shouting every week. Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Patrick. Hi, Elizabeth. I will look that up for you and get back to you on the vampire comic, Elizabeth.
Good vampire comic.
Any good Walking Dead?
Let's see.
I know The Walking Dead is done.
The Walking Dead is being reissued in deluxe editions with color images. Yeah. I don't know if they're doing trades of that, but if you would, originally Walking Dead was a black and white comic, so yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll figure out what we've got and I'll get back to you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, we'll let you know, Elizabeth,
no worries
about that. I'm gonna just move you guys so I can scroll here and see. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
Anything
guys.
good zombies beside Walking Dead?
Okay.
Elizabeth, we're gonna get back to you.
Yes.
I'll sit here and I'll noodle with Joanna before I leave here because I'm waiting for my husband anyways. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Have a beautiful day. Bye.